From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, April 8th, 2017. Silver is trading at $18.02 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,255 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 1.4 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $1,192. Antiwar.com reports with Russia complaining that the U.S. launched an illegal attack against Syria on Thursday night based on unproven allegations of them launching a gas attack against northwestern Italy province earlier in the week. U.S. officials have shifted to trying to blame Russia for the incident. The Pentagon has announced that they are carrying out an investigation into the putative gas attack, saying that they want to see if Russian warplanes took part in the attack. Russia has insisted that no such gas attack took place to begin with, and that a Syrian conventional strike hit a rebel warehouse full of chemicals. U.S. officials don't seem to be too worried about anyone proving anything, however, with Secretary of State Rex Tillerson insisting in comments that Russia bears responsibility for the attack because they played such a major role in the 2013 chemical disarmament of Syria. This line of thinking probably isn't going to get the Trump administration very far, however, since the United States also played a major role in the disarmament under the auspices of the Organization for Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. Either way, trying to blame Russia at this point, still not having gotten a deal in place for an international investigation, and having launched an attack on Syria over what they alleged happened, is putting the cart before the horse. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Twitter on Friday withdrew its lawsuit against the U.S. Department of Homeland Security after the agency abandoned efforts to try to identify users who have been critical of the government. The social media company pulled its suit in U.S. District Court in California a day after it was filed. Twitter pursued the legal action, claiming federal authorities were trying to pressure it into identifying the user behind the account at alt_USCIS. Twitter said agents with the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol had made attempts to unmask the anonymous user, who has claimed imposed to be an employee of the federal government. In recent months, at alt_USCIS had made a number of posts critical of the Trump administration and U.S. immigration officials. Thursday, the lawsuit said federal officials had issued a summons ordering the user's identity and threatened to take Twitter to court if it failed to comply. The company said in its court filing on Friday, because the summons has now been withdrawn, Twitter voluntarily dismissed without prejudice all claims against defendant. Dismissal of a case or legal complaint without prejudice means it can be refiled at a later date, meaning Twitter can again raise its objection in federal court if a similar clash emerges in the future. Twitter, which has long been an advocate of internet privacy, refused the government's request to identify the user, who posted an image of the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution after the suit was filed on Thursday. Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organization to show up in an emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare to the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411, because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com. Reuters reports an Alabama state court on Friday rejected Governor Robert Bentley's request to block a legislative committee from releasing evidence about wrongdoing stemming from his relationship with a former aide to be used for impeachment proceedings. A Montgomery County state court judge was still hearing arguments Friday evening over the governor's motion to halt impeachment proceedings in the Alabama House of Representatives. The House Judiciary Committee is scheduled to begin the process on Monday. Bentley, who is accused of using state resources for personal use, has denied any wrongdoing and has refused to step down as demanded by top political leaders. Bentley's troubles began last year when recordings surfaced of him making suggestive remarks to a former senior advisor, Rebecca Mason, before his wife of 50 years filed for divorce in August 2015. Bentley has denied having a physical affair with Mason, who is married. She resigned as questions about the pair's relationship began to dominate Alabama politics. On Wednesday, the Alabama Ethics Commission found that Bentley probably violated ethics and campaign finance laws. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.